What is the latest, and what should we take from this shooting in Boulder, Colorado, the politics around this, and the way that it's already being used by Democrats who see this as an opportunity to push an agenda while also not caring about the fact that many of them jumped to conclusions right away on this one and were incorrect. Our friend Kurt Schlichter is with us now, senior columnist at townhall.com, Army veteran, lawyer, and guy who knows some things. Mr. Schlichter, good to have you back.
Good to be here, Buck. It's kind of a sad day, but I think it's important that we talk about this stuff.
I think it is, too, because I was trying to shed some light on the Kristi Noem nonsense, and I'll talk to you about that, too, last night on social media, because I thought she had an abominable showing on Tucker Carlson's program.
Awful.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a moment. But I say something about that. I hadn't even said anything about the shooting in Boulder. I hadn't read about it, didn't know about it. I just was following the stories that I was following. And I have all these people saying, yeah, you know, maybe you should actually spend some time thinking about the white supremacist Trump supporter that just shot a bunch of people in Boulder, Colorado, as if that in any way attached to what I was talking about, which is transgender sports in South Dakota. But anyway, that's just the way this seems to go. Now we find out the guy's name is Ahmad al-Issa, and he frequently posted, according to journalist Andy No, on social media about Islamophobia and oppression of him because of his devout Islamic faith. I don't know that this goes in the white supremacist Trump supporter category, Kurt. I think it's safe to say that we should wait until more facts are in.
Well, you know, if this was a good faith argument instead of a blatant power grab and a lie, I would agree with you. But of course, it's beyond the point. It's not even close to the point. Truth is just a bourgeois concept, Buck. It doesn't matter. Now, I want to be really clear here. A lot of conservatives are pointing out the hypocrisy and the lies that have been used against them. But this is not we are not doing the same thing they are doing. We are not blaming all Muslims because this one particular idiot went out and did something horrific for which I hope he hangs. We are pointing out that the narrative that the left attempts to make is a lie. It's an attempt to grab power. It doesn't rely on facts. It relies on blatant dishonesty. And it is immune to reason. So I don't believe in reasoning with them. I believe in mocking them. And that's what we're doing. And, you know, I think normal people are seeing it, Buck. I think normal people are going, yeah, well, they've lied to me again and again and again. And this is just the latest one. And I'm hoping that this nonstop barrage of lies helps people wake up.
And I see the initial Democrat leadership response to this in Congress and, you know, the Democrat media. And it's all the stuff that we always this needs to be the grounds for pushing a national universal background check, or this shows that, you know, Donald Trump's rhetoric, or, you know, they do all these things, and there's no accountability for this now. I mean, no one apologizes, no one cares. You know, we don't know. Maybe this guy passed a background check. Maybe he actually went in and, you know, and actually sat down and bought a gun legally through the process, but people didn't know that he was a psychopathic, murderous lunatic. And so he managed to buy a gun. But they're still saying, oh, background checks, right? And if it turns out that I'm right in my prediction, I don't know, that this guy probably got this gun legally, they're still going to say there needs to be a background check system. So you say, well, if the incident is not the reason for this new push, why are you tying the incident to the political push for background checks in the first place? I mean, I think we know the answer, but it's worth pointing out for everybody.
Well, look, it's a fact-free environment. Look, we're not going to reason our way to convince these people of anything because they're not trying to be reasonable. They're trying to exercise power. They're trying to exercise power by disenfranchising us and disarming us. They at the same time, they want to defund the police, which is just amazing. The idea that the solution to terrorist violence is to make ourselves more vulnerable to terrorist violence by disarming us is insane if you're being reasonable. If your purpose is to create a nation of serfs, then it is a terrific idea to proceed this way because they want us vulnerable, they want us scared, they want us unable to defend our liberty and our lives. That's what they want. How do I know? Because that's what they tell me on social media. This isn't a fantasy. I'm not drawing conclusions. I'm simply repeating what I hear directed against me and other people on social media. They like this. They like the idea of us being afraid and cowering. Look at what's happened over the last year. This whole COVID thing with people locked inside and terrified, this gives them more power, and they like it.
I think that, and we're speaking to Kurt Schlichter. He's a senior columnist at townhall.com, Army veteran and lawyer. I think, Kurt, that now more than ever, I've been saying this to people, the idea of the Second Amendment as a check on government tyranny should be taken very, it's not that it should ever have not been taken seriously, but it should be more apparent to us why that need exists. When you have the government, as we've seen for the last 12 months, telling you that you cannot go to church, that they will actually, they were in some parts of the country, they were threatening to arrest you if you gathered with more than 5 family members in your own home, that they will arrest you if you try to open your business, for the crime of wanting to serve food to people that are looking to buy it from you, that they will take away your freedom, they will destroy your business because a bunch of little lab coat tyrants, because little Fauci, the fascist, says so. That should be a wake-up call to everybody, and I mean that. I mean, this government locked people away in nursing homes and then filled nursing homes with people with COVID in places like New York and New Jersey, and now we're seeing Michigan. And if you had a problem with that, if you were trying to protest against it, they were willing to lock you up in jail. That's the actual government we're dealing with.
An armed citizenry is a key to preventing tyranny. However, I mean, it is a backstop. It's not had to been used. I guess you could arguably say it's been used once or twice in very, very small incidents like Athens, Tennessee. We are now, the fact that we are so far away from having to use armed violence to protect our rights is not to say that could never happen. That needs to be there as a final backstop. But Buck, we've got a whole bunch of other things. We can still, at least outside of big blue cities, elect representatives who support our interests. We can still appeal to the courts. Sometimes we'll get a fair hearing. We can still speak our mind sometimes. There are still things that we can do and we should be doing. However, none of that, the mere fact that we are not completely oppressed right now does not eliminate the fact that could happen down the road. I believe that every healthy, law-abiding American adult who is willing to bear arms, because there's some people who are conscientiously object to it, should be armed and ready to defend themselves, their family, their community, and their constitution if necessary. I lived through the LA riots. I saw what happened when order broke down. It's not a hypothetical. I had some lib from some website going, you talk about these collapses of society and they never seem to happen. Well, I spent 3 weeks in the streets in Los Angeles with an M16. It happens. It's not common. But all I can say is an American who was carrying in that supermarket yesterday might have been able to stop it. Yes, I know an armed policeman was shot and killed and several others were wounded. Carrying weapons is not a 100% guarantee that you will always be victorious over a criminal, terrorist, or other violent scumbag. But it does give you a fighting chance. And I believe every American should do 2 things. Every American should be able to lawfully use violence in the rare occasions it's necessary to defend life and liberty. And I believe every American should be trained and keep themselves proficient on basic life-saving techniques. That is our job as citizens. Buck, it's like we've given over so much of what it means to be an American citizen to other people. We've outsourced it to the police or the EMTs or the teachers or somebody else. But democracy is hard work. Freedom is hard work. As citizens, we have to be able to stand up and take a personal stand. And that's why I believe that every American should have the right to keep and bear arms. And that includes carrying a concealed or open weapon in order to lawfully be able to enforce the law and protect the defenseless.
We're speaking to Kurt Schlichter, townhall.com senior columnist and former, well, he's still a lawyer, actually, and a United States Army veteran. And, yeah, I guess you're a lawyer for life, Kurt. Let's switch. Let's put your lawyer hat on here for a moment to what happened with Kristi Noem last night. I've been critical of her on social media before the Tucker interview. She went on the Tucker interview to say, to say her side of things. I will also point out that the comparisons with Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, I think, have always been overblown. Florida is the the third largest state, actually, in the country, and has major cities like Miami and Tampa and others. South Dakota, lovely place, lovely people, has the population less than the population of San Jose, California, and has an actual population density that's right along what you'd expect in an island chain in the South Pacific. Now, I know a lot of South Dakotans love that. That's very different for the purposes of dealing with COVID than what you have in Florida. Okay, so put that aside for a second. I think people were way too, oh, she's so great, she's withstanding the pressure. It's an entirely red state, and there's 11 people every mile or something, which is totally different from what you get in other places. All right, on this transgender bill, which would protect women from competing against transgender males in sports. She claims that this is because she can't win a lawsuit against the NCAA. That's why she did it. What do you make of that claim? Because she sent it back for style revisions or whatever it's called, right? She sent it back down, wouldn't sign it. What do you make of this?
I think she has blown it. I think she has completely screwed this up. I think she's destroyed her chances. Now, you and I were both at CPAC. I don't know if you met her. I met her when she walked through the bar. Got my picture with her. She's a tiny little thing. I looked like the Incredible Bulk next to her. But I was unimpressed. I thought she was.
I've always been unimpressed. Always. Yeah, I don't get it.
I was willing to give her a hearing, and I understand it's a small state. Maybe she had some good ideas, but she made no connection with the activists who were hanging out there, and she seemed distinctly uncomfortable with people who were, ideological. There's been a lot of hype about her. I think she has shown here that she will roll over under pressure. This idea about, well, I'd lose a lawsuit. Well, how do you know? How do you know what the lawsuit is? And are you telling me it's not worth fighting for? That we just it's going to be hard, we should give in? Sorry, I don't need that as a president. I don't need that at all. I think she really messed herself up, and I think it's going to take a lot for her to come back and fix it. If this bill was terrible, why was she not working with the Republicans to fix it before it got passed?
This is what I've said. I mean, sometimes you know the answer without even getting that deep into the details here, Kurt, because there's no way that she just figured out in the last few days that there was this big problem of lawsuits in the NCAA. I mean, it's laughable. Anybody who believes that is being put on. I mean, they're being fooled.
Well, it's like saying, I'm incompetent, but in a different way, because I can't work with my own, deep red legislature to get laws passed that I want. That's her argument. That's why it's better. I found her appearance on Tucker overly rehearsed. Focus group.
I thought it was smarmy too. I thought she was smarmy, and I don't think Tucker was being unfair to her.
No, it was totally condescending. I thought Tucker was actually very easy on her. I thought he let her talk and talk and talk. I mean, I don't expect him to be a cross-examiner. He brings a guest on. They should say what they want. He should ask tough questions, which he did. I was distinctly unimpressed, and I think she believes we're stupid. I think she thinks that we are stupid and we're going to take another jab. I've got an article in Town Hall coming out on her on Thursday, and it's not going to be pretty. I'm greatly disappointed, but I'm glad too. I'm glad that we found this out now instead of being disappointed after we elected her. Look, people don't understand why we like Donald Trump. It wasn't the TV show. We don't watch that crap. It wasn't because he was an ideological conservative. He was not. It wasn't because of his mean tweets. Okay, maybe a little about his mean tweets. It was because he stood behind us and did what he said he was going to do. She said, I'm going to sign this bill, and then she changed her mind. Then she folded under pressure to the NCAA, the Chamber of Commerce.
Amazon, the Chamber of Commerce, corporate interests. She wants to be in tight with them. I think we can all see what happened here. I think I hope that people realize. I hope people realize who she really is as a politician now. I don't know. It's not personal. I don't care. But this is not the leader we need. We got to leave it there, Kurt. But check out Kurt's column at townhall.com. Mr. Schlichter, thank you so much, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.